You guys have seen me build a ton of apps on this channel, and one thing that you might have noticed is that I absolutely love building a beautiful landing page. And the tool I'm about to show you today revolutionizes the way we design and develop landing pages or our apps forever. So click the first link in the description down below and you will land on Reweb, which is a visual builder for Next.js and Tailwind CSS. Now what does that even mean? So imagine you are designing your website in Figma, right? So it would look something like this. You have added this heading section, this paragraph, this button right here. But notice, with Reweb, we can directly convert it into the code right out of the box for Next.js and even using Shadcn UI, which is such a popular UI library. Almost every other project uses Shadcn UI these days, right? For this button, you can see if I click on it, it generated this Shadcn UI button component, right? So it's following all of the good practices as well. And I'll show you when we go on to build a full-fledged landing page, which you might have recognized, right? I created this Calendly clone on my channel as well. So I used Reweb to design its landing page. And I'll show you how you can go on and exactly design a landing page like this or some other type of landing page as well using Reweb. So I'm going to click on Get Started and let's log in with Google. And I am in. Amazing. And this is absolutely free to get started. So over here, you can see I've already created 3 projects. Let's click on new project and let's go on and start a new project. You can see we have some pre-built templates if this is something that you're interested in to get started. But let's go on and create a blank project. And we will land on this UI. So you can see we have this empty canvas over here on the left side. We can add some things to our website. And on the right side, we can configure the default variables like background color, foreground color, primary color, etc. Now, even if you have no idea on where you want to get started, over here you can see there's this add section button. If you click on it, we have some pre-built sections over here, right? Like for example, for header, for our hero section, the common things that we expect in a landing page, right? Like a feature section, testimonial section, FAQ section, etc. So what I'll do, let's just quickly click on this header over here and I'll take a hero section, let's say this one, and I'm going to click on add sections. So you can see it has added it successfully to our app. Now, if you have something in mind and you are not able to think on what type of UI should I create, Reweb also has AI features which you can use to generate components, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But let's see over here. Okay, so I don't want this SVG over here. I'm going to use my own logo. So I'm going to click on delete, and right here you can see we have this header over here and this hero section added to our website. If you click on it, inside of this, we can see we have this logo. We have these different nav bar options. And for each and every single one of them, we have a component created. And I'll also show you how you can use Reweb to create components. And for each and every one of these, you can see the individual code. Like for example, let's just see the code for the whole header. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say view edit code, and you can see the whole code right here. If I want to see the code for let's say this get started, right? So I'll go on over here, view edit code. Yep, just for this section right here. Amazing. All right, so let's say I don't want these options over here, right? So let's just get rid of this now over here. I'm going to click on delete. I'm going to click on this get started button. And so our app is basically a Calendly clone, right? So I'm going to say, let's click on this link right here. Instead of this get started, I'm going to say create event. And let's just have one more button over here for login. So I'm going to copy and paste it over here. Let's bring it outside so you can see how easy it is to work with. We can just drag and drop stuff right here. You can also drag and drop the stuff over here as well. Like right now, you cannot distinguish between those probably. So I'm going to say, I'm going to click this link over here. Let's just say login. And let's say I want this variant to be outlined, right? In Shadcn UI, we have outline variant as well. So over here, you can see in the variant, we get all of these properties like destructive, outline, etc., that we have in Shadcn UI as well. Now, what if I want to add an icon over here along with this button, right? So I can expand this button, and over here, you can see when you hover below or on top of any element, like above any element, we have this plus icon, which you can use to add blocks. So if I click on it, you can see we have a bunch of different options over here. Like we can add a whole component, we can add different sections, we can add individual elements as well. Let's say if I just want to add the icon, right? So I'll say icon, And there we go. We have the icon option. If I click on it, this icon has been added here successfully. So what I'll actually do, I'll take this icon and I'll put it inside this link tag right here. And you can see they are now together. So I'll just move this icon above this text and I'll select probably a, let's say, pencil icon probably. So I'll say pencil. Yep, something like that. And what if we want to create some spacing between those, right? Generally in Tailwind, we would say something like margin right of 2 or something like that, right? So that's exactly what we can do over here. I'll select this icon and you can see we can add Tailwind classes over here as well. So I'll say margin right, and notice as I'm writing this, we are getting real-time suggestions. So I'll say margin right to be 2, and there we go. How beautiful this looks over here. Now we can adjust the size of this icon over here. Oh, sorry, now I've selected button. If I just select the icon, you can see I can select the size of the icon. I mean, I can change the size of the icon over here. And since this is a link, I can choose where this goes. Like I can say new event, right? And this will take us to this particular page. Now, if you want to run this as well, we can just click on this play button. We can see the live preview of our website, right? With all of these buttons right here as well. But let's go on and build more of our website first. So here, let's say instead of this text, I want to add an image, right? So inside this link, I'll get rid of this span. I'll say delete. And right here, I'll click on plus and I'll say image. And I'm going to add an image inside of this link right here. So we have this empty image over here. Let's click on choose image. And I'm going to choose an image for this. There we go. Our logo has been uploaded. Let's go on and adjust the width and height. So right here, you can see we can select, like we can add the alt text over here. Let's say I'm going to say logo. Width is going to be 100. Height 500. That's fine. I think this looks good. Yeah. Let's do the same thing with this image right here over here as well. So I'm going to say choose image. And I'm going to choose an image for our hero section. There we go. Let's remove these this shadow from behind and the border class from over here as well. Now it looks much better. But you may have noticed we have some default color assigned over here, right? What if I want to change it? I can go on over here. You can see background, foreground, primary. So if I click on this primary right here, let's change it to something like blue. Yes, that looks much better. Now, if I want to edit these, I can just simply click on them and add my content. Just like this. Simplify your scheduling. I can edit this as well. We can write anything inside of it, right? Let's get rid of this learn more over here. I'm going to say delete. And I can add some icon over here as well, just like I added right here. Instead of this, I'm going to say introducing scheduler. All right, great. Things are looking good so far. Let's change the color of our background as well. I want it to be a little bit bluish. So I'm going to add a color code right here. So yep, that gives a little bit of a blue tint. If you remember, our original website also had something similar that I built on this channel, right? Yep. All right, now below it, let's go on and add this key feature component. But this one looks a little bit simple, right? So let's go on and improve this component over here as well. So I'm gonna like shrink all of these and I'll click on this plus button. Now, if we want, we can go on and create it from scratch as well. But since we already have a features section, so I can just choose feature section. Now, if you want to create it from scratch and you want to add like divs or something like that, right? So you can search div over here as well. And this will give you an empty div. Now you can go on and add some more things inside of it by clicking this plus icon. And you can move forward from there, which is obviously much easier than writing custom code by yourself, right? If you're not that good of a coder. So I'll click on this plus icon. I'll say features. Let's see, what do we have over here? Let's take this one. Okay, so you can see it has given us this pre-built section right here. And now you might have noticed we have these similar looking cards. What do you think? Are we writing the code for these again and again every single time? No, that is not the case, because that is not how we build our apps, right? We create component once and then we import them again and again and again, right? So these types of best practices are being implemented by Reweb over here. You can see we have created this carousel feature component over here. If I double click on it, it will take us to this individual page for this particular feature. Now we can go on and improve this as well. And by the way, just like a React component, you can see we have some props over here as well. We are supplying the title, description, and the icon, like what type of icon is going to be. If you want to create more props, you can click on this plus button over here and you can create other props over here, right? if I click on this feature title option, you can see this is using this title prop that we have created. Okay, but first of all, let's go on and improve this a little bit. I'm gonna say instead of item start, I'll say items to be center. Okay, for this div right here, I'll say text to be center. Now over here, if I click on this div right here for this icon, you can see we are using background secondary. We are using a particular color. You can also add some custom color over here, like background red. Oops, red to be 300 probably. Yep, you can see we have changed it. So yeah, every single thing is customizable over here. Now let's go back and you will notice all of these components have been updated right here, right? And if I click on any of these component, and actually I don't want it to be a carousel. So what I'll do, I'll just get rid of this carousel previous button and carousel next button as well. And all these three right here, I'll click on delete. Right, okay. So if I click on these components, you can see over here we have props that we were supplying, right? Title, description, and the icon as well. And you can change the particular icon over here. Like for example, for the first feature, I'm gonna show that user can create the event, right? So I'll say calendar. And you can see it has been updated. For the title, I'm gonna say create events. And for the description, I'm gonna say easily set up and customize your event types. And now if I click on this carousel over here, or even this sections, features section, right click, and I'm gonna say view or edit code. This will give us the complete code, and you can see they are using the components that we have created inside of Reweb right here inside of our code as well, right? If I click on this, or this is open right here, it's gonna give us the complete code for that carousel feature card in Shadcn UI, right? This is following all of the good practices that we generally do while building an app with Next.js and Shadcn UI. All right, so I have edited all of these things one by one by clicking on it over here. We can add the text and description and everything, right? So this looks good now. Now, one thing that I missed in the hero section, you can see in our deployed website, we have this gradient-like feel over here, right? Can you add it over here? Of course you can, because we are using Tailwind CSS if you remember. First of all, let's make this text a little bit bigger. So in the smaller screens, I'll say in the smaller screens, text to be 6 XL. Yep. I'm going to say background gradient to bottom right. And that has been added right here. And let's say it's going to go from blue 600 to blue 400. And it looks something like this. Let's add background clip text and also text transparent so that we can see that right here. Okay. Let's just add padding bottom to be 2 over here so that we have some gap over here. Awesome. This looks amazing. And also if you want to, let's say, update these fonts inside of your app, right? So we have this fonts section over here where we can, choose the fonts for our heading over here. You can see it's updating in real time, or for our body as well, right? So this is an amazing feature. And by the way, if you're creating your app and let's say you want to export just this section from Reweb inside of your app, you can click on over here, add to code base, and this will give you this command right here to add it directly inside of your code. And of course, you can see the code for this whole component and you can copy and paste it inside of your app as well. But let's forget about all of these things for now, because now we're going to dive into the AI features of Reweb, which is super exciting. Right now, let's say if we want to create a section for, how it works. Like for example, inside of our deployed app, we have this how it works section, right? So just click on this icon over here, AI Composer, and we can describe our, prompt over here. And by the way, you can also give it the image prompt. It can, look at the image and replicate that particular component right here. So let's say add a how it works component with 4 steps. Sign up, set availability, share your link, and get booked. This is, how our app is going to be working, right? So, okay, let's click on enter and let's see it perform its magic. So it should create this component right below this key features, and it has already started right here. You can see sign up and set availability, share your link, and get booked. And obviously, since we're using AI, this hallucinates sometimes, right? So it has given us this calendar, and we can easily remove it from over here. If I click on this calendar icon, let's just get rid of this calendar. But one thing, what I want to do over here, these are being used repetitively over here, right? So how about we go on and create these, as a component? right? That's a good idea. All right. So what I'll do, I'll get rid of these three right here, and I'll make this one a component. So I'll select this one, and this one. Right click and delete. Okay. So we just have this thing right here, and actually, yeah, this thing. So let's go on and make this thing a component. So right click and create component. Let's name it. I'm gonna say step and click on create. Okay. Now, how do we go on and add the props for it? Like we can have this index prop, right? So I'll say plus, and I'm gonna say index. Let's keep it of type number and save it. By default, let's just keep the value to 0. We're gonna have the icon over here as well, right? So I'll keep name icon and type is going to be an icon. We're gonna have a title and description, right? So I'm gonna say title, type text, that's fine. And then I'm gonna have the description over here as well. And text, yep, save it. Icon, let's say by default arrow down. I'm just gonna put test and test over here for default values. Now, how do we assign these props to this component? So let's say first of all for this one, I'm gonna click on this link icon and I'm gonna choose index for this. For icon, I'm gonna again choose this and icon. For my title, again click on over here, title, same for the description as well. All right. If I go back to the home page, you can see we have just this thing right here. Let's go on and add some values. I'm going to say index. This will be for sign up. Let's say sign up, or for login. Yeah, that's the icon. For title, I'm going to say sign up, and description can be create your free scheduler account. And now let's go on and duplicate this component. So I'm going to right click and say duplicate. We can also press Control D. So Control D multiple times. Yep, we have all 4 of these. And over here, we can, obviously go on and update the props for all of these. So let me just go on and quickly do that. There we go. I've added for all 4 of these right here, and it was super easy because we were using a component and we were passing the props to it. Let's see the code. Since this is an AI generated component, right? Some people will think that the code will not be proper probably. If I click on view, edit code, you can see we have this component right here. And over here, we have this step component with proper props being passed just like this. And this is a single step component over here. Amazing. All right, now let's say if we want to add the testimonials for the user, right? Again, we can go on and use AI to generate it. Or we can, click on this plus icon. But I believe we already have the testimonials. Yep, just like this. Let's say if I want this carousel right here. Yep, what our users say. Let's try to play it and see if this carousel is responsive or is dynamic or not, right? If I click on this play button, here we are inside of our website. And if I click on it, yep, amazing. And obviously, you can just go on and change the data inside of this components easily, because this is a reusable component, right? And if you go on over here, click on view or edit code, you can see we are using Shadcn UI carousel component over here. So I'm not gonna go on and add, content over here. I've already showed you that. Let's say if we want to add the FAQ section, we can click on plus icon over here. Let's search for FAQ. Okay, let's add this one. Oh, you know what? Let's, instead of adding FAQ, let me just ask it to generate it. Right, let's click on over here. I'm gonna say add an FAQ component for an app called Scheduler, which is a Calendly clone. Let's click on enter and let's see it do its magic. There we go. We are generating FAQs one by one. What is Scheduler? How do I integrate? Like, these are some of the most common questions for an app like this. So you can see it has added it successfully, and it is fully dynamic as well. And by the way, this website is also responsive. So if I make it smaller, you can see, awesome. It is completely adjusting to the screen size. Imagine how many hours of work we just saved right here. Let's say in the end, we can go on and add this, call to action. So in the end, let me just compress all of this. I'm going to press this plus button and let's say CTA, and there we go. We have a pre-built CTA over here as well. Awesome. Let's edit it and say ready to simplify your scheduling. Join thousands of professionals who trust Scheduler for efficient time management. Let's add a footer, right? So obviously we're gonna have a footer component over here. So footer, Just like that, we have a simple footer component. If you want, we can add more complex footer. You can see just like these ones. Let me just add 2025 scheduler. And you can see we have our social icons. You can obviously go on and add your socials right here. And yeah, that is pretty much it. You can see we have successfully created our landing page in such a less time. Let's go on and export the code by clicking on this export code button. And you can see we get this download button right here. If I click on it, I'm going to save it inside of my PC. There we go. I've opened this code right here in our VS Code. And let's see, inside of our package.json, yep, we can go on and install all of these libraries right here. So I'm going to say npm install, press enter. All right, so we have done npm install. Let's go to src. In the app, we have this page.tsx where you can see all of our components from header to footer. Let's open header and yep, we have all of these things in Shadcn UI, like all the Shadcn UI component along with Tailwind CSS. Amazing. So you know what, let's just go on and run it. So npm run dev, press enter. And there we go, it's running. Let's click on localhost 3000. And there we go, our app is successfully running. Amazing. Let's go on and deploy it on Vercel. So I'll go to my GitHub account and create a new repository. Let's call it scheduler revamp. And press enter. And there we go. Let's initialize a new Git over here. So I'm going to stop the server. I'm going to say git init git add dot to add all of this code. Now I'm going to say git commit -m deployment, press enter. Let's just add the origin over here. So git remote add origin, paste it right here, press enter. And now I'm going to say git push origin master and press enter. And this code will be successfully pushed to our GitHub repository, just like this. Okay, now I'm going to go to vercel.com. And here I'm going to click on add new project and we can import our GitHub repository. So let's say scheduler revamp. I'm going to click on import and click on deploy right here. And this should successfully deploy our app. Let's see. It is building it. And there we go. Our website is successfully deployed. Let's continue to dashboard. There we go. Let's click on this domain. And amazing, our website is working successfully. If we click on over here, our testimonials as well, FAQs. Awesome. So yep, that is it for this video. If you like this video, give this video a huge fat thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel for more such awesome tutorials.